Well, hi. Hello. It's been a long time, hasn't it? A quick channel update. I'm going to be taking my content in a new direction. There will still be some gaming content, but hopefully of a higher quality. Overall, though, I'm going to be pushing my channel in a more creative direction. Some more videos like this, possibly getting back into some animation content. But now, getting into the topic of the video, I want to talk about apocalypses to go along with my lovely speed paint here. The first apocalypse within my lifetime would be Y2K on exactly the year 2000. The theory behind it is that all the machines and computers created before the year 2000 had not in fact been created to comprehend the new millennia. So when the clocks inevitably reached that point, they would go haywire on account of not being programmed to know what to do in that situation. Machines would just stop working altogether, usually leading to imagery like planes just dropping out of the sky, some machines just not doing what they're supposed to, or, in the most extreme case, machines taking over. That was what was believed at the time. However, when Y2K did come around, the bug had already been fixed, and there was nothing to worry about. And so that was the end of the apocalypse. The next apocalypse that I remember was 2012. 2012 was based off the Mayan calendar just abruptly ending. This big round stone carved out by the Mayans and inscribed with stellar events leading all the way up to 2012, where they just ran out of stone. Most people heard the idea that because the Mayan calendar ended, that means there was nothing more to tell. And therefore, it must be the end of the world. There was a movie made called 2012 where California just falling to pieces, earthquakes just ripping through everything and breaking off like chunks of land, like a video game. Then I remember a bit about Yellowstone National Park, where there is a supervolcano that is just building up volcanic pressure until it inevitably explodes, encompassing the entire world in ash. I seen a video more recently about Yellowstone National Park is actually less likely to erupt than previously led to believe. Later on in the same movie, there are giant boats to escape the natural disasters, including a flood that overtakes the Himalayan mountains. I'm pretty sure the writers were going for a more biblical approach to the apocalypse. Speaking about apocalypse, I somehow managed to skip over 2011. In fact, I only found out about this one through Internet Historian. How this one passed over me, I don't know. Maybe I was too young. Maybe people didn't care about it as much where I lived. But according to the channel Internet Historian, this televangelist took it upon himself to calculate the end of the world through random biblical references and decided They all added up to 2011. This spread to his supporters. Some believed this was going to be the start of the rapture. It didn't happen, first of all. People on the internet wanted to throw random piles of clothes into the street to act like people got raptured. A very funny joke that it seems like nobody actually did. Now, after 2012, I've never noticed anything else seeming to happen up until, say, the year 2016. Nobody had any fun in 2016. I'd like to skip to 2017, going on 2018, then 19. I was sitting on the couch in my apartment with my roommate just in the other room, and an alert pops up on my phone. A nuclear strike was about to take Hawaii. Now, this is too big to be real, but at the time, I was just a burnt out college student, and so was everyone else that I knew. Nobody knew what was going on. I think part of the reason why people automatically assumed that this was a real thing, other than the urgentness of the notification popping up on phones and computers across the nation, people were just willing to believe that things got fucked up that badly. Luckily, none of this was actually the case. No, the more notable occurrence for me living in Florida were the several tropical storms that plagued the area, especially one known as Hurricane Irma that managed to make it all the way up towards Orlando, where I was living at the time. And Hurricane Irma wasn't the only hurricane going on at the time. There were at least 4 others that consistently kept clipping the edge of Miami, and then some of them coming back around to hit the other edge of Florida along the Gulf Coast. Everybody I knew fled the area. My roommate left, my best friends left. I was the one foolish to stay. I was the one who wanted to see a hurricane from the inside. As soon as the tornado warnings hit that night, I had been feeding my addiction of playing every old Flash game that I could remember that I couldn't beat as a kid, and making sure I had no regrets. I was just watching the tornadoes outside my window in the parking lot and the heavy rain. Some branches were coming down, and I had 2 neighbors. They ran out into the parking lot in swimsuits and were just having a blast in the rain. And I just didn't expect that. However, at some point I had passed out all the way through the storm, and the next morning it was completely clear out. And for Florida, it was kind of cool out. The wind was blowing really nicely, the sun was out, everybody was outside surveying the damage. There were road signs that were twisted all the way around like in the Looney Tunes. There were trees that were torn out of the ground. There was a specific tree in the front of the complex. There was a car under there. It was underneath these really heavy bushy branches. I must not have been the first person to climb in there, because in every single window of that car, there was a business card for a towing service. And that is hilarious to me. Okay, so the power was out for the entire city it came back to the other side of the city. Then the other 2/3 of the city, except my apartment complex, my building was the very last one to get power back. All my neighbors were outside. I got to know some of them. Nobody had any electricity, so we got together, had like a barbecue, played round chess, which I won by cheating. In 2019, a raid on Area 51. You will see this archived in internet history. The raid on Area 51 started as a joke. They can't catch all of us. If we just Naruto run, we can dodge all the bullets. Now, several memes would blame the raid on Area 51 for 2020. But before that, I'd like to address a very similar event hosted on Facebook by a man named Josh. So this Josh found 5 other Joshes and challenged them to a fight. He placed coordinates for a meetup point, and so when the time came for the Josh fight, every Josh showed up. In terms of the original 5, only 2 showed up. They settled their differences with a game of rock, paper, scissors. As for the other Joshes, they had a pool noodle fight, but when it came down to it, there were 2 final Joshes. There was Big Josh, and then there was Small Josh. This 9-year-old kid with 2 pool noodles took down Big Josh and became the rightful king of Josh. 2020, Apocalypse Bingo. Every day there was a new disaster happening, some of biblical proportions. Actual plagues were breaking out. The cicadas were waking up. Murder hornets. California was on fire, and so was the entire continent of Australia. I think one of them was even started by a gender reveal party. A virus slowly started to spread across the world, a full lockdown. There was an actual insurrection on the United States on January 6th, and that's just a thing that happened. In terms of the apocalypse, that's all she wrote. If you like this new form of content, please leave a like, subscribe. I'm planning on making more of these, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.